What's good with y'all? Welcome back. Today I'm gonna talk about the Pvlace Gunboi situation. Pvlace just dropped his statement as I'm recording this video, and Gunboi also reacted to the statement already. I would try to structure it as best as possible and break it down what Pvlace said to it and then what Gunboi said to it, and then come to a conclusion at the end. Before I would get into this video, I would like to say that, since I was at the Pvlace workshop where Gunboi was there too, and Pvlace manager, and heard them talk for a few hours, got to meet up with them in person, and since I've been following Gunboi and Pvlace since forever, I can maybe say a little bit more about their personality and maybe can analyze that a bit better, especially when it comes to Pvlace manager, since he isn't internet active. I actually, heard him talk in person, how he was acting in person and all that, so I would take that into account. But yeah, let me not talk way too much. Let's get straight into this. So first, I will go over the biggest accusation that Pvlace stole melodies from Gunboi and also from some other people and sold them to other artists without letting Gunboi know, or without crediting him, or with crediting him but not giving any paperwork, or both. Most of y'all probably saw the TikTok series Gunboi started, where he just says songs I didn't know I produced and then just shows the evidence and all that. And all those videos are kind of structured the same way. Gunboi shows the FLP and then shows the released song without his credit, with his melody or his beat. So basically Gunboi is proving there that he made those loops, he made those midis, he's showing the dates. Pvlace said in his statement to this that for smaller songs with smaller artists, he doesn't do paperwork because first of all, he won't be in the gray zone if the sample gets placed with a bigger artist, and second of all, because it wouldn't be worth it to pay lawyers, to get the money for those small songs, because they wouldn't make enough money back for it to be worth it.
Every time the song gets placed, or I hear one of my loops, or loops that I have with Gunboi together anywhere, I look who the artist is, and if it's not big or nothing, I don't even charge my lawyers or something like that, because the cost will be way higher than what we will get from this whole shit. As you can see, the Richard Kid sample got placed thousands of times before, and I waited and I never contacted any of those artists who used them, even they're signed to smaller labels. I never charged one of those kids who used the same sample, because I know when it hits big, then we're gonna eat out of it. And not if I go to a random C-type rapper and get like an advance of $500, then we will be in a legally gray zone that I can place it on Richard Kid and make the contacts there. So the same happened with Stepson. We had the beat, then I played the version for me, and then like it became a song, but I never did anything. But for me, it was like I was always looking at the bigger picture. I want my music to be used by everybody.
Which does make sense. Pvlace does have a point here, but a lot of the songs Gunboi showed are just too big for Pvlace to be doing that. But they have millions of streams on Spotify, and with a lot of songs, Pvlace also did paperwork. For example, the Zepson song, James Bond, which has over 2.6 million plays on Spotify. Yeah, Gunboi still didn't get any credits or any paperwork for the song, and also Pvlace didn't even let him know that this song released. This is a reoccurring theme though, because pretty much all of Pvlace's biggest songs, biggest placements, we got a lot of Keylock songs, Big Tipper, Sleddy, Picasso, and 1978 by Rin, which is a German artist, but the song also has like 8 million streams. And those are all songs where Gunboi didn't get credited or didn't get the paperwork for it, or both, which just makes the whole point of Pvlace invalid, because even for the biggest songs, Gunboi didn't get any credit and or money. Now there's this one song where Pvlace did show proof that Gunboi got the paperwork and the money, which is the Negative OG song. That it is true that he got paperwork for the song, but only after he asked for it. Didn't happen in this whole accusation thing. This was over 2 years ago. Back then, Gunboi asked for the credit and asked for the paperwork, and then he got the paperwork.
Now we're going out there that he never got paid or
Alright, yeah, so it's the Negative OG song. He sent us both 600 when we called him out for it, okay? First off, thank you to the stream for catching that, by the way. Thank you to the stream for catching that, because after that, that's when we called him out for it, okay? And he sent us both $600, alright? And then I was like, yo, you gotta give us our credits too, alright? Which he never did.
anything.
Now, Pvlace indirectly responded to the whole evidence that Gunboi is showing in all of those videos with opening up the FLP, and then showing he made it with saying that he was at Gunboi's crib every day and they was working, they was hustling every day together, making those loops, making those samples.
At this point, you need to know, from 2019, we've been together almost the whole year. We opened up the Dropbox folder that you guys probably been aware of, and pretty much I was there every day, and like this was the main source of how we saved the files. And stuff was doing very well for us, like because we've been hustling every day. We've been together for at this point at least a year constantly, every day together, working together, doing all the stuff together, grinding, getting up there in the music world.
But for those people who know and who watched a lot of Gunboi streams and been in Gunboi streams, you know, in 220, you know, Gunboi was always making those melodies, and Pvlace was never ever on a Gunboi stream making anything, never. And there's even a lot of evidence where Gunboi makes those samples alone, live on stream, and then they got big songs and they got big placements. Pvlace was definitely not with Gunboi every day. That is just complete cap. Gunboi said that as well.
Okay, so I guess he's trying to say he was at my place every day, and that's where the Dropbox is coming from, which is also cap. Add that to the cap shit, all right? Add that to the cap. You think, man? I mean, shit. You guys know man was not. You know he wasn't here making some of those melodies because I was live on Twitch doing them, and you guys saw who was there. Okay.
You know, the evidence is pretty legit. Gunboi showing the FLP and all that. Now, for those who wonder, Pvlace still hasn't said anything about stealing those melodies. He just kind of talked around it. He never addressed it. Now, where it gets even more interesting to me is when we look at other people who also accuse Pvlace of stealing. At first glance, this profile looks very kind of fake, you know. But if you scroll all the way down, you see he actually has a photo with Pvlace right here where they at the studio. Yeah, this guy's probably from Pvlace's hometown, since if you know Pvlace, you know he likes to support people from his hometown. So that's why he probably worked with him. In this TikTok right here, Gunboi is showing the DMs with this guy where he's basically saying that a lot of the loops in Pvlace loops kits are actually composed by him, plus the Lil Tecca melody and the new Kodak Black melody are composed by him as well. And he never got any cent, any dollar from it, and basically was tricked. So, you know, he isn't credited at all, nowhere. I'm still finna give y'all another person that got robbed by Pvlace, which is just like a guitar player from Germany, little kid. And this is very, very recent. The song just came out. Right here, you can see the text of this kid. He made the guitar melody for this one Faroon song, which is a German artist that has close to 1 million monthly listeners, so he's kind of big as well. So it's definitely worth it to, you know, do the paperwork for it. Yeah, he never got any cent from it, no credits, no nothing at all. He was asked for his GEMA, which is basically a German BMI or SCAP, but yeah, never got anything from it. And Pvlace actually shows something in his statement that burns his evidence, because at the part where he shows that he always saves the loops with Gunboi with a G, he also shows a loop that he made, a guitar loop too, that he made with this kid who didn't get credited in this Faroon song. So he did credit him on the loop, but when the song came out, no credits, no paperwork, no nothing. So this is the perfect transition to the next point where Pvlace said he's always saving the loops with Gunboi with a G, the loops with Angelo with A. Yeah, that just completely bursts the point, you know. It does not matter how Pvlace saves those files, it just does not matter. Only thing that matters is that the person who made the loop with Pvlace gets the credit at the end of the day, which is inherently not happening. So yeah, the next thing is about the deleting Dropbox video, which kind of went viral on Gunboi's TikTok. And for this one, this is probably the only point where I disagree with Gunboi. Maybe he didn't know better. Maybe he really wanted to put Pvlace in a bad light with this one, which I would not blame him for at this point. But yeah, basically there's this Dropbox remind feature that even makes it possible to get back all your files after like a virus happened or a hacker got into your Dropbox account. So yeah, deleting files on Dropbox is way harder than most of y'all probably think. And Pvlace even says that he showed Gunboi this remind feature, but yeah, maybe he forgot about it. You know, maybe it wasn't intentional, maybe it was intentional. Alright, so let's get to the next point, which is the whole 808 Mafia thing. You know, Pvlace was never signed to 808 Mafia, which all just comes from these two posts right here. One, the Shalitsi comment and the Southside comment. It's pretty hard to say something about this because there's pretty much no evidence on both sides. Pvlace did show in his statement that he's still giving up royalties since 2018 because he signed somewhere to 808 Mafia, I guess. But it wasn't really that clear, so yeah, this is just pretty weird. All I can say to this is that Shalitsi is very legit. If we just look at all the other evidence against Pvlace stealing stuff and, not doing legit business, it's kind of hard to believe Palace now in this whole situation than any other third parties, especially if they legit. So yeah, I pretty much just now went over all the accusations against Pvlace and Pvlace's response to them. But now in this next and last part, I would just talk about just Pvlace in general, Gunboi in general, and about just Pvlace's statement and what he wanted to achieve with the statement, at least in my opinion. So let's just first talk about the statement. Pvlace waited very, very long for this statement. So that tells me, especially the way he talks, the way he acts in the statement, that he scripted this statement with his lawyers. Now that's only an assumption, I don't know for sure obviously, but it kind of seems that way, especially if you know Pvlace for a long time. The statement didn't seem too real. It kind of seemed a little staged, especially if you know how Pvlace acts normally. And that perfectly brings me to how Pvlace is, what type of person he is. Since I was able to hear him talk in his mother tongue, and shows your personality way better than if you speak a foreign language. And yeah, I would definitely say he's a very business-oriented person. You could tell, like, the most important thing for him is money, and he made that clear a lot of times in the workshop, and just the way he talked, the way he acted. That's really what I kind of get now after looking back at it after the accusations, because back then, I was kind of blinded by all the lights and like, everything was so nice and this and that. If I really now look back at it, you could really tell that, I wouldn't say only in it for the money, but he cared about money the most. Like, that was his most important thing. But he kept it humble, he kept it nice. Also the way he said it in his statement, like, he genuinely wants everybody to win.
And I wish Gunboi all the best. I know this was a long journey here in Germany. I will always have this guy in my heart, even though no matter what happens after the statement.
That's how I still feel about Pvlace, but he's just shady, he doesn't do good business. I feel like he also made me feel a bit entitled.
I put him in an advisory board of like crypto projects. I put him, because of my name, I put him in 2 of mine. I gave everything to him. I paid the landlords. I tried everything. He at least made $500,000 off my name.
Not just Pvlace feels entitled, Gunboi kind of feels entitled too.
Yeah, exactly. He said, he made 400K, right? No, I made 400K off my own skills in crypto, bro.
But at the end of the day, they both did the same for each other. Pvlace's biggest songs are composed by Gunboi. So without Gunboi, Pvlace would have not got these placements. But without Pvlace, Gunboi would have not got these placements either. Same with the NFT project. Even though Gunboi had the initial idea, talked about the 3D designer about it, and kind of made everything happen, Pvlace was the one who promoted, pushed the whole NFT project with his brand and made it that successful. Pvlace would have not made that money without Gunboi, and Gunboi would have not made that money without Pvlace. The statement to me is just trying to win sympathy. That's all the statement is saying, that's all the statement is doing, because he did not talk about the actual accusations of him stealing stuff from Gunboi. All he pretty much did in the statement, and I feel like that is his strategy, is to just win sympathy. All he was basically saying is, I helped Gunboi so many times, Gunboi was always down, I always tried to help him, I always tried to do the best for him.
Not only I know that I helped him so often and I gave everything to him, I paid the landlords, I tried everything. If you see deeply how much I gave to him, and I never took any cut of this guy from any placement ever, ever, ever. Not only that, but he profited with my name with the NFT project.
That's pretty much the whole Pvlace state. Tried the best, I tried everything. I never wanted anything from him. But then if you look at the Gunboi reaction to the Pvlace statement, a lot of things kind of clear up. And especially during the end of the Pvlace statement, it's just a made up story. Like, there is no truth in it anymore. Pvlace just wanted to make it seem like he did so much for Gunboi and just wanted to get that empathy.
Our relationship, our friendship, everything.
And I declined it because I didn't trust them anymore at this point, because I was already seeing all this shit, all right, putting together evidence and trying to clear the records behind the scenes, all right? That's why I didn't sign it.
Broke down because he couldn't realize, like, he couldn't comprehend how the deal, everything was so amazing in the USA. We came home and the deal fell.
Now he's saying everything was so amazing in USA, but now before he said we argued every day and da da da. Like, which is it, bro? Which fucking is it?
Yeah, it was also at this point where he went crazy. Like, he literally went crazy. At this point, so much bullshit.
That's why I lost it, guys. My homie, he popped in the game and shit. My homie lost it.
Should happen. Like, this, he lost his money in crypto, then like he had this chance with the NFTs, and then like this stuff fell.
The worst thing during this whole time was fucking his racist manager, and then the fact that I was realizing that this person I thought was my friend is actually more cool with that kind of activity and snaking me and lying to me than he is my friend. But I'm not losing it over that type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Like where the scars came from, like he knew like.
And yeah, pretty much let that shine over him stealing from other people. This last part is really where it gets the worst in my opinion, because I will talk about the manager from Pvlace and the whole racist accusations Gunboi is making, which maybe at first glance kind of seem like Gunboi is just jumping on the race chain, but if you look deeper into it, it makes a lot of sense, especially because, you know, I got to see the manager in person. You know, he isn't like internet presence, so nobody really knows who he is, but he was at the workshop and also was talking at the managing / business part. I can kind of assess about him a bit better. And when Gunboi is saying, you know, he did these racist jokes, I definitely believe him. Yeah, this manager from Pvlace was also somebody out of his hometown. You know, he was a little older, like 40, 50 years old. I don't have any evidence for this, but a lot of people, you know, in this age range or even older in Germany are racist, at least to some extent. That's all I'm gonna say to this. There's no evidence or nothing with the racist stuff, but I definitely believe Gunboi in this because, yeah, the manager just gave out kind of like a vibe of somebody who is racist. Plus, when he was talking stuff, it seemed like he did not know what he was talking about at all. And yeah, Gunboi also mentioned, like in his reaction to the statement of Pvlace, that there was some stuff going down in the US, you know, where they was just at the studio and, you know, the manager was just always just couldn't really talk with the people and was being kicked out because he was weird and like fucking up the vibe of the room and stuff.
In the studio with Easy made that, but then your manager comes in and starts dissing Mbeza and puts a weird vibe, so you gotta kick him out.
And he definitely seemed like that at the workshop. He was literally like the last person you want as a manager. He was very weird, I guess. And another racist part about this story is the old landlord where Gunboi was living, and Pvlace is saying in his statement that, you know, it was 2 a.m. Gunboi had to get out of his crib, and Pvlace went to this racist guy who would then become Gunboi's landlord and would ask him for, you know, an apartment for Gunboi.
And I told him, you know what, bro, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna get you a flat right fucking now. So it's middle of the week and it's 2 a.m. I went to my car and went to one of my friends, and at 3 a.m. I ring the bell and he was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, yo, can you come down? And yeah, I explained him the situation. At this point, he didn't really know Gunboi, just saw sometimes that I was together with him. And he told me, yes, we can get to have the flat. And on the next day, I picked him up. We went to the flats, I put it down on my name, and
this landlord where Gunboi was then at, the apartment that Pvlace basically organized, yeah, he was racist.
The owner of the house said...
was racist, by the way.
Like, crazy racist, bro. Like,
crazy racist, yeah. Oh, Lecter was there. I forgot. Yeah. Bro, you were... Oh my God, bro.
Like, I said he was going to call the cops on me while threatening me. I was like, yo, I will beat your ass, bro, if you touch me.
Yeah,
and
bro.
And then he was like saying that your guests were aggressive. I was like, bro, this guy threatened me and shit. I'm supposed to stand there and apologize, bro.
Crazy racist ex-cop guy. Bro, you know what's so crazy when someone lies on you? It's like when somebody was there who witnessed the whole shit, he's like, that ain't true.
Went to one of my friends and...
Now that's really the worst part about it, because even though Pvlace wasn't racist, you know, it's fucked up. Like, you just gotta be wrong as a person to still be with people after, you know, they make racist jokes and just say racist stuff. Like, Pvlace still was with his manager, still being cool with him, all that, after he saw, you know, firsthand that he was racist against Gunboi. Same with this landlord that was hella racist. Basically cool with two people who was racist, especially the things that Gunboi been saying. Like, he was calling them monkeys and stuff like that. Pretty bad. So this is really the worst part, where I really lost the most respect for Pvlace. It's just extremely wrong to be around people that are racist and you know it and you stay around these people. Yeah, that's pretty much the whole beef, the whole situation. So yeah, hope y'all like this video. Hope I could make the situation more clear for y'all. Definitely be excited for the videos that gonna drop in the future, because I got some crazy ass bangers on the way. Like, subscribe, turn notifications, all that. I hope you're having a great day. A lot of people not what they pretend to be. And yo, I'm out.